The bitter Siberian wind howls through the Altai Mountains, carrying with it the whispers of an ancient mystery that would remain buried for 50,000 years. Deep within the shadows of Denisova Cave, a teenage girl takes her final breath, unaware that fragments of her genetic code will one day help modern humans conquer the highest peaks of the world and dive to the deepest ocean trenches. This is the story of the Denisovans, our mysterious cousins who vanished into the mists of prehistory, yet left behind the ultimate gift of survival encoded in our very DNA. Picture the world 45,000 years ago. Ice sheets stretch across northern continents like frozen seas, and the landscape pulses with dangerous beauty. Massive cave bears lumber through pine forests, their breath creating clouds in the frigid air, while saber-toothed cats prowl the shadows. In this unforgiving realm, three distinct human species walk the same paths, their destinies intertwined in ways they could never imagine. Modern humans, fresh from their African homeland, push northward with tools of stone and bone. Neanderthals, stocky and powerful, dominate the Western territories with their incredible strength and intimate knowledge of Ice Age survival. And then there are the Denisovans, the ghost people whose physical appearance remains a tantalizing mystery, known to us only through precious fragments of bone and teeth. The first encounter happens on a windswept plateau, where the scent of smoke draws curious eyes. A band of modern humans, their dark skin still adapted for African sun, spots the glow of distant fires. As they approach with cautious steps, they see figures moving in the flickering light. But these aren't Neanderthals. The strangers are tall, lean, with features unlike anything the newcomers have ever seen. The Denisovans turn, their eyes reflecting the firelight, and in that moment, two streams of human evolution meet for the first time in hundreds of thousands of years. What follows isn't war, but something far more profound. These early meetings spark connections that transcend species boundaries. Perhaps it begins with trade, exotic stone tools passed between groups, or knowledge of which plants can heal and which can kill. Maybe it's curiosity about each other's languages, their different ways of shaping fire and shelter. But inevitably, attraction blooms in the harsh beauty of the Ice Age world. Young people from both groups find themselves drawn together, and from their unions come children who carry within their cells a revolutionary genetic cocktail. The hybrid offspring inherit something extraordinary from their Denisovan parents, genetic variants that have been refined by hundreds of thousands of years of adaptation to the world's most challenging environments. These aren't random mutations, but precision-engineered biological tools crafted by natural selection. The EPAS1 gene variant, which will one day allow Tibetan highlanders to thrive at altitudes that would leave most people gasping for air, flows through their bloodstream. Genes that enhance immune responses to new pathogens lurk in their DNA, ready to activate when needed most. Variants that help process different types of food, survive in extreme cold, and resist diseases that could wipe out entire populations. All of these biological treasures lie dormant in their genetic code. But the Denisovans themselves begin to fade from the world. Climate change transforms their ancient territories, and the advancing ice sheets force all human populations into smaller refugia. Competition for resources intensifies, and the smaller Denisovan groups find themselves increasingly isolated. Some retreat to high mountain valleys, where the thin air suits their adapted physiology. Others migrate to distant islands in Southeast Asia, where they continue their ancient ways for millennia. Yet even as their distinct culture disappears, their genetic legacy spreads through hybrid populations, like seeds on the wind. The true power of this genetic inheritance reveals itself as modern humans begin their greatest journey, the colonization of the entire planet. When early explorers push into the frigid wastes of northern Eurasia, those carrying Denisovan cold adaptation genes survive where others perish. Their blood flows more efficiently in sub-zero temperatures, their metabolism adjusts to conserve precious energy, and their immune systems remain strong even when food is scarce. These biological advantages allow them to establish permanent settlements in regions that would otherwise remain uninhabitable. The story becomes even more dramatic as humans venture toward the roof of the world. The Tibetan plateau looms like a frozen fortress, its peaks scraping the belly of the sky. The air here contains so little oxygen that lowland peoples would suffer altitude sickness within hours. But those carrying the Denisovan EPAS1 variant possess a secret weapon. Their bodies produce just the right amount of red blood cells, Not too few to starve their organs of oxygen, not too many to thicken their blood into sludge. They ascend the impossible heights with steady breathing, their hearts beating strong and sure. Generations pass, and what began as a small group of pioneers becomes an entire civilization thriving in the clouds. Meanwhile, other human populations carrying different Denisovan variants spread across the Pacific. The vast ocean stretches endlessly before them, dotted with islands that seem impossibly distant. But some carry genetic modifications that enhance their diving ability, allowing them to hold their breath for extraordinary lengths of time as they plunge into coral lagoons seeking food. Others possess immune system variants that help them resist tropical diseases that would devastate newcomers from cooler climates. Island by island, these descendants of ancient hybrids populate the Pacific, their Denisovan genes serving as biological passports to new worlds. The genetic archaeology becomes even more fascinating as we examine specific populations today. In Papua New Guinea, some individuals carry up to 6% Denisovan DNA, a higher concentration than found anywhere else on Earth. These genes include variants that help process different dietary staples, resist malaria, and adapt to humid tropical environments. The Inuit peoples of the Arctic possess Denisovan variants that help them metabolize high-fat diets and maintain body temperature in extreme cold. Even populations in the Amazon rainforest show traces of this ancient heritage, carrying genes that may help them process plant toxins and resist jungle diseases. But the Denisovan contribution goes far beyond simple survival. Recent discoveries suggest these mysterious cousins possessed sophisticated cognitive abilities that they passed on through interbreeding. Archaeological evidence from Denisova Cave reveals advanced tool-making techniques, the use of symbolic ornaments, and possibly even early forms of art. When modern human populations inherited these genes, they may have gained not just physical advantages, but enhanced mental capabilities that helped them develop complex technologies and social systems. The immune system benefits prove particularly crucial as human populations expand and encounter new pathogens. The Denisovan contribution includes variants of the HLA genes, which help the immune system recognize and respond to threats. These variants are so valuable that they persist at high frequencies in modern populations, providing protection against diseases that could otherwise devastate entire communities. Some researchers believe that without this genetic diversity, inherited from Denisovans and Neanderthals, modern humans might never have survived their global expansion. The metabolic advantages tell an equally compelling story. Denisovan genes help some populations efficiently process high-starch diets that became crucial after the development of agriculture. Others enhance fat metabolism, allowing Arctic peoples to thrive on diets that would overwhelm the liver function of most humans. Some variants even affect how the body processes alcohol, suggesting that Denisovans had their own complex relationship with fermented foods and beverages. Recent genetic studies reveal that the timing of Denisovan interbreeding was more complex than originally believed. Rather than a single mixing event, there appear to have been multiple encounters across different time periods and geographic regions. Some populations show evidence of early interbreeding that occurred in Central Asia, while others carry genetic signatures of later mixing that happened as far south as Southeast Asia. This suggests that Denisovan populations were more widespread and persistent than previously imagined, maintaining contact with modern humans across vast distances and long periods of time. The neurological implications grow more intriguing as research progresses. Some Denisovan genetic variants affect brain development and function, potentially influencing everything from sensory processing to cognitive abilities. While the exact effects remain largely mysterious, the fact that many of these variants persist in modern populations suggests they provide significant advantages. Perhaps they enhance spatial navigation abilities crucial for long-distance migration or improve pattern recognition skills essential for survival in complex environments. The reproductive advantages cannot be overlooked either. Some Denisovan variants appear to affect fertility and pregnancy outcomes, helping populations maintain stable birth rates even under challenging environmental conditions. Others may influence maternal immune responses during pregnancy, protecting both mothers and developing babies from infections that could prove fatal. These subtle but crucial benefits helped hybrid populations not just survive, but thrive and expand across the globe. As climate change continues to reshape the ancient world, the value of Denisovan genetic diversity becomes even more apparent. Populations carrying these adaptive variants prove more resilient to environmental shifts, better able to exploit new food sources, and more successful at establishing permanent settlements in previously uninhabitable regions. The genetic legacy of these mysterious cousins becomes the key that unlocks the entire planet for human habitation. The archaeological record hints at the dramatic nature of these early encounters. Stone tools found in Denisova Cave show a sudden increase in sophistication around the time when genetic evidence suggests interbreeding occurred. New techniques for working bone and antler appear, along with the first evidence of personal ornaments and symbolic behavior. Whether these innovations came from Denisovans, modern humans, or emerged from their cultural exchange remains unknown, but the timing suggests that contact between these species sparked a creative explosion that benefited both groups. The story reaches its climax as we realize that virtually every person alive today carries within their DNA the echo of these ancient meetings. Outside of sub-Saharan Africa, all modern human populations show evidence of archaic human ancestry, with Denisovan contributions being particularly prominent in Asia and Oceania. We are not purely the descendants of a single African exodus, but rather the product of multiple human species coming together in the crucible of the Ice Age world. The final revelation proves most profound of all. The Denisovans didn't simply vanish into extinction, they transformed into something greater. Their genetic essence flows through the veins of billions of people, their adaptive innovations continuing to help us survive and thrive in environments across the globe. Every breath taken at high altitude, every dive into deep ocean waters, every successful adaptation to extreme climate, all of these achievements carry within them the silent contribution of our mysterious cousins who disappeared so long ago, yet remain forever part of who we are as a species. The Denisovans achieved a kind of immortality through their genes, ensuring that their legacy would help guide humanity's conquest of the entire planet, one adaptive advantage at a time.